Hi, my name is Luciana Williams, and you have returned to my channel, Delinquent Queen, like an idiot. This is my girlfriend Nina, and she hates all of you. And I guess we're here to apparently drop frames, like Eminem drops diss tracks.
Oh god.
You know.
Is this really how you are on your channel?
Yes.
Really? Oh my god.
I need this to stop dropping frames. I need it to happen.
I hope...
I am going to minimize this camera because I'm sure it is recording.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it says. I'm gonna hope for the best. I don't normally talk like this, but I'm doing it today, and it's probably because I've snorted massive amounts of cocaine. She can attest to this. I once killed a man in cold blood, and just chugged his blood like a Capri Sun.
Oh my god! You just chug the blood. You just do a little like vein, like you find a vein, and you just put a straw there.
Yeah, I love it. I love Capri Sun, and I love human blood. I'm not ashamed to say it. This is my coming out of the closet video. I've murdered a ton of people, and I've enjoyed it every time.
Oh my god.
Okay, in all seriousness, we are here to talk about trans rights, I guess. We are here... No.
Trans rights?
Not trans rights. We are here to talk about giraffes.
No, we're not.
We are here to talk about transitioning and trans kids. In all seriousness, that is what we are talking about, yeah? Yay!
Jazz hands.
But I would love to talk about giraffes sometime because they are monsters and they need to be stopped.
Yeah, have you seen their tongues? They're like...
Yeah, they're evil.
They're really...
So, I guess one of the reasons I wanted to talk about trans kids is because there's a bunch of bullshit happening, and all these stupid anti-trans laws that are being passed, and there's a lot of stupid rhetoric being thrown around, like, oh no, people are putting their kids on estrogen, these poor preteens. That's not happening and y'all are dumb. Why would you put a kid who hasn't even reached puberty on estrogen? That's idiotic. Why would you put a kid on who isn't even on puberty blockers? It makes no sense. Y'all are stupid. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say it. So here's what is happening, and Nina, you can correct me every time I make a scientific mistake, because Nina is a scientist. She is a genius with, tell them your IQ, sweetheart.
Well, about like 200, over 200.
It's over 200. Tell them the exact IQ number.
Last time I tested, about 212.
Okay, so if she says y'all are stupid, y'all are stupid, and if she says I am stupid, I am stupid. So here we go. I have my fact checker here. What was it? Like third date, you lectured me on fucking thermodynamics, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Thermodynamics and like, I don't know, I went on a science spiel about like several other things.
Okay, so we are prepared for this shit. So where was I?
You were talking about...
people being fucking stupid.
Yes, and about how they're using, like, puberty blockers before they even hit puberty.
Yeah, how they're not doing that. Okay.
And, like, they're taking estrogen before anything.
I remember what I was talking about, right? So I was talking about what really happens when kids transition. So assuming this is a prepubescent child, someone in elementary school, or what, you know what I mean, like, before they reach puberty and have to deal with medicine. So this is typically what they do. If they're, let's say we're going to use trans girls for examples, because I don't want to get into trans men, and I don't really...
We have experience with trans.
We have experience with trans girls, and I don't really want to speak for trans men, because I think that's unfair to them, but I'm sure they can kind of relate to what I'm saying, and the way that they, cut their hair, I assume, and wear manly clothes. So with trans girls, a child would typically grow their hair out and wear feminine clothes, right? They would socialize transitionally. They would socially transition, and I'm really not sure what's bad about this. I I assume a lot of the arguments I hear against this are, well, they get bullied. My counter argument is to this, that's the bully's fault, it's not the child's fault. I mean, for fuck's sake, raise your children better. I mean, you know, if you're really saying, oh, well, the child can't be themselves because they're going to get bullied, I feel like that's a different problem we have to address. But typically, unless someone is like growing hair like a fucking werewolf, if they're in elementary school, they're not going to take puberty blockers. So you can fact check this. Yeah, Nina, you can fact check this with anyone. You can fucking talk to doctors, harass them, like, hey, do prepubescent children take puberty blockers? And they'll tell them, like, no, are you fucking dumb? So yeah, I'm not being nice here. But yeah, it's dumb, and y'all really, really need to do your research before you, like, because I'm really kind of sick of hearing about it. Like, I'm sick of it, like, being used against me. Like, and what's really frustrating to me, and I realize this is a full-on rant, is I need to know my medication, right? To transition, to figure out the best course of transitioning and which medication is best for me, I have to educate myself, right? Because a lot of online sources, they're not going to help me. And so I actually needed to talk to the doctor about it and figure out my options. And so when people lecture me on my own goddamn medication and what the puberty blockers do, I feel like I take offense to that, because they're basically saying, well, you didn't do your damn research. And I did my fucking research. I figured out what the spironolactone did. I figured out why I'm taking that and the estradiol. You know what I mean? Because what's frustrating me about the puberty blockers argument is they're totally reversible. They're literally prescribed to you because they're totally reversible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a safe option.
Yeah.
The main problem with growing up as a transgender is the fact that there isn't enough trust, that you know yourself automatically. I mean, we can get even younger. At the age of 4 or 5, typically there's a pattern where trans females like us, we would play femininely, dolls, imagination, such like that. We would actually want to pursue these things more so than what's common, like rough housing, stuff like that. We typically, from the get-go what gender you should be, and there's just not enough trust for, like, believing that the child knows who they are without the parents, telling them.
Yeah, but in my experience, I was pretty aware of who I was, and my parents just weren't. I mean,
in most cases like that.
I mean, it's kind of amazing to me how oblivious parents are to what's going on with their kids. I mean, I don't really want to get into all my shit, but I was pretty certain about a lot of the things that I liked and a lot of the things that were going on with me. And the problem with my parents and the problem with adults in general is they never listened. And a lot of my problems growing up came from the fact that nobody really cared to look at me, and no one really cared to actually see what was going on with me or listen to what I was saying. And so I feel like a lot of the problems with the argument your kids don't know what's going on, why the fuck don't you talk to your kids? You know what I mean? Like, and I know I'm being so aggressive, but if you think your kid is confused, fucking talk to them, for fuck's sake. I shouldn't have to give people advice on parenting. If you think your kid might be trans, have them talk to a professional. Don't just cut their fucking hair and, like, give them fucking genes and think it's going to work out. It's not going to work out. You know what I mean? If your kid is trans, I mean, they're trans, and you got to get that fucking shit looked at. I mean, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to go away. It doesn't go away no matter what you do. And so you have to talk to someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. Your fucking Republican politicians, they're not going to know what they're talking about because they don't have trans kids. They don't know what they're talking about. You need to talk to a fucking medical professional. You need to talk to someone who specializes in trans issues, and they can advise you on what to do. I think part of the problem with parents is they assume that they have control over their kid's fate. You don't control how your kid's going to end up. You create them, you raise them the best you can, and that's all you have. And I think that would have saved my mom a lot of trouble if she just acknowledged that, you know what I mean? It would have saved a lot of parents a lot of trouble if they just acknowledged that, it is what it is. Your kid has a lot more awareness than you know, and you need to communicate with them, and you need to teach them that it's okay for them to communicate with you. And I realize I'm being aggressive and bitchy, but I think it comes from me having to hear this argument a lot that, oh, kids don't know what they're talking about. I knew what I was talking about. No one fucking paid attention to me. And in my experience, I think kids, when people say, oh, kids don't know what they're talking about, it's typically because they don't want to believe they know what they're talking about, because it's easier for you to accept that the kid doesn't know what they're talking about. One of my favorite examples of this, and I'm coming at this from someone who grew up in an incredibly abusive household and who kind of struggled with adults turning a blind eye to what was happening with me. And I think the reason that a lot of people like to chalk me up to a troubled child or someone who was struggling mentally is because they didn't really, it was more convenient not to look at it, because I feel like people want control over over their own lives, and teachers just want control of the classroom. Parents just want their child to be, they don't want anything ever to be complicated about their child, whether it's my perspective, whether it's me being abused, or me being trans, or me being a trans lesbian, or a fucking Satanist. I mean, no one wants their kid to be different, and unfortunately you have no control over that. I mean, you need to be more I mean, of course I can't lecture anyone about this, but if you think there's something different about your kid, basically fighting that is going to make it so much worse, and you're just going to end up making them feel alone. And that's the reality of it, is that I wish people listened to me and understood that I knew what I was talking about and didn't automatically invalidate me, because it would have made my whole life a lot easier. And I feel like the end result of what they were trying to avoid, it all ended up the same anyway. My mom fought against all of the things that I was, I think, and I don't know if she would agree with that, but I feel like she tried to make me into a good Christian boy. She tried to, say, well, you're not, you're not gay, you like women too, or which I guess I do, but, you don't actually want to transition, do you? And I think there's a lot of people who just don't want to accept that something's going to happen, and the more they fight against it, I feel like the more depressed they become, because it is inevitable. And my inevitability was who I am today. It was something that a lot of people fought against, and it never changed. And your kid, you're never going to be able to decide who they are, because you know what I mean? Your kid is always going to end up who they are meant to be, and if you torture them into killing themselves, I mean, they're going to die who they were. And that's the reality of it, is that you can't stop it. You can't stop identity from manifesting, and you can't really, truly ever cover it up.
Here's something I want to add. Something that is pretty piled up socially. There's a lot of information and a lot of opinions that are always brought to the table whenever it comes to trans kids and how they perceive the world, and etc. I can go on infinitely. It's the fact that there are real studies and scientific facts that actually help trans kids literally be understood more. Whenever you are born, you typically have kind of two sets of genders, and one is the body, and the other one is the brain. This is absolutely verifiable. It can be tested. There's evidence of this, and it's the reason why kind of trans individuals exist. It's because the two genders do not, in fact, a part of the body do not, in fact, match. Yeah, they're basically two different things: male body, female brain, male brain, female body, and of course you're gonna have some dysphoria via that because you're not who you perceive yourself to be, and especially in puberty, you're going to start morphing into weird ways that you just don't understand. Like, from my own experience, I kind of perceived myself as a rectangle, and it was really odd for me. But that's just, a sensory. That's just what I thought at the time. Going back to the science of it, with the gender identity versus biological gender, you're born with it, and you can't actually change that. Your identity is already made with that, and it sounds like I'm kind of favoring in the nature versus nurture argument the nature aspect, but there's actual history, at least in the gender front, that, to be honest, that actually that gender favors the nature argument.
Yeah.
There's a case that I remember, 70s or 80s. I'm sure that, if people watch this, they can probably find it. A child got mutilated during a circumcision. So, and this was a male. So what they did was they decided, well, seeing as how we botched up the groin area, let's just make the child, I believe,
a girl.
weeks, into a female, 3 weeks old. And the whole study was, okay, well, if we just raise them as a female, things should be fine. It wasn't fine. They always thought, they were told repeatedly that they were a female, and it was by around the age of 14, or around the teenage area. I'm not gonna say like exact ages because I don't know the years. I haven't visited this case for a while, but it was around the teen years whenever they just knew something was wrong, just intuitively, and they fought tooth and nail to figure out what was going on, and it turns out they identified more as a male than a female. And it was revealed either early adult or like 18 or 19 years old that they were actually a male. And trying to reconcile with that, he tried to live on as a female, and it just was disgusting for them. And by the age of 30, they started transitioning to a male, female to male. You can basically say, but it's really weird because I guess they were transitioning back because the doctors forced them to try and be a female, and the family did as well with therapy and psychologists just trying to see if they could make this male into a female, and they just couldn't do it. They're about 40 or 50 years old now, and no one knows about this case. And it's very much buried. The facts of transgender history and such, it's the facts of it is always not really known.
And I think that's I feel like, yeah, exactly, and I feel like that's something I always try to communicate with people, that I've always been this way. I mean, even before I knew it, I was this way. And it's obvious in hindsight that I've been this way my whole life, and I think it's frustrating to me when people seek to change it because it's clear they don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly don't, like, I think when they say, well, it's insanity, it's a delusion, and they always are like, well, you shouldn't feed a delusion, and I don't agree with that, of course, but even if that was true, what do you take for mental illness? You take medication, and my medication is, of course, my hormone replacement therapy and medication. So I think I don't know what solution they would be presenting if they honestly think it's a mental illness. There is no other cure.
If you're essentially for this argument, it's like if your mental illness is so bad, you might as well kind of work with it so that way you can have a healthier life. That sounds really bad, but it's like if you view yourself in such a way that you just cannot, in fact, I guess, correct it, then maybe the incorrect way is your correct way. And working with it is better than working against it. If it's going to traumatize you so much to work against it.
But like I say, I don't agree that it's mental illness.
Okay. Trans, definitely, like, there's evidence for it. Being transgender is completely biological.
I consider it a hormone disorder.
Absolutely. Yeah. You are, in fact, a different gender than what you should be. And that's the point that a lot of people, like,
don't understand. Because it's not, for me, it's not even complicated. For me, and you've always been like this, you've always simplified things in the best way that you can, to you know what I mean, even when it comes to chess and all that. The way I see it is I was born into the wrong body, and, you know, I'm born as the wrong gender, physically, and I'm correcting that. And I don't think it needs to be more complicated than that, but I think people always need a reason. And I think the reason, and this is, of course, me being a little aggressive again, but I think the reason a lot of people want a reason is because they want to find a way to disprove it, and they want to find a way to basically confirm their biases. And I have a lot less sympathy for that, because I feel like if they saw how these kids felt, if they saw how we felt in general before we started transitioning, if they saw how dark and it gets, and if they saw how cruel people were to us, I wonder if they would still be so callous, because there's a lot of cruelty in this world, and and transphobia is so constant and malicious that I genuinely don't understand how so-called liberal people, because it's not even just the Republicans, I see this on the liberal side as well, can be so ignorant and hateful towards people that are vulnerable. And I don't understand, I guess, how, if you honestly think that I am mentally ill, if you honestly think this brilliant girl is mentally ill, then why are you why are people such asshats about it? And I think that's because they don't really care about the answers. They don't care that they're using a mental illness as just a way to gaslight us, basically, and say, oh, well, we don't need to call you a her, we don't need to do that, because they don't want to. You know what I mean? They don't want to accept that it's valid. And I think that's part of my frustration with the whole mental illness argument, is because they're not providing a solution, they're not providing anything. And so them saying that is basically just them saying, well, I don't have to say this, I don't have to respect it. And so I don't really have, I don't really have any sympathy for that argument, because that's a lot of the time in my experience, that's where it comes from. And to be honest, and this is kind of what's crazy to me, is the fact that if someone else had any other, quote, mental illness, you wouldn't antagonize them about it. You wouldn't, if you honestly thought they were mentally ill and you had sympathy, you wouldn't be so hostile towards them. I mean, for fuck's sake, someone's depressed, you're not going to just say, oh no, fuck your depression medicines, you're depressed, I'm not going to humor that. You know what I mean? It's bullshit.
Yeah, here's a good rule. If you have to bring out a lot of energy to another person that either you don't know about, chances are you don't have a good mental space. It's like you're literally wasting too much energy on someone that you're never gonna see again. And you hear this all the time, and it's really true. What does it matter what another person does in bed? Are you gonna watch me in bed? Or
exactly.
like, why is that a problem exactly?
And I think that's, and I realized that I've been kind of antagonizing people on this video, but I don't give a fuck. I mean, for fuck's sake, my channel name is Delinquent Queen, and if people don't like me, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm like the most, like, I literally start my videos out with, I fucking hate you all. And I don't mean that. Of course I'm joking. But I think that what frustrates me with this whole argument is that it comes from such a bad place. You know what I mean? And we both dealt with this recently. And I don't know how much I can talk about this, but we dealt with some pretty serious homophobia recently, and a pretty extreme case of discrimination that I don't really want to mention any names or any specifics, but we were basically publicly humiliated, and it's kind of fucked up our whole week. And I'm trying. Intense. I don't want to mention it in case it gets you in trouble. Right. Yeah. But I think that somehow we weren't clocked, which was kind of cool. We were both just. We're just both, oh, these are just two gross lesbians kissing each other. But it didn't feel good. It felt...
It was still dehumanizing, that's for sure.
And so I think that... I think that's part of my frustration with all this, well, everyone can have a different opinion. Yeah, you can have a different opinion, but your different opinion is, it's fucked up and ignorant, but I don't care if you kept it to yourself. But the problem is, with homophobic opinions or transphobic opinions, you never keep it to yourself. You always obsess over what we're doing. I mean, for fuck's sake, I never even flashed you guys my titties. I mean, why do you care? I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? I get so many questions like, oh my god, well, do you still have a penis? Do you intend to cut it off? It doesn't matter because you're not going to see it. I mean, unless you want to watch me, like, masturbate on camera, which you probably do.
Or if you want to try you want to sleep with you or something, like, why does it
I'm already taken those, so you guys are unlucky. But you know what? I don't get it. I don't, you know what I mean? God doesn't care. I mean, even if God existed, do you think a giant cosmic being would be like, oh my god, this disgusting hairy man is growing titties. Whatever will I do?
It's like here I am. I'm manipulating galaxies. I created a whole universe, but I have a really big problem about you doing HRT. That really don't like that. That ruins my day.
Did that girl did that fucking man just go into the Chick-fil-A bathroom? What the fuck? Oh, that was great, by the way. I peed in a Chick-fil-A bathroom recently, and I didn't buy anything. I went in the women's bathroom, pulled my fucking pants down. I was locked in a chastity device, and I peed right in that motherfucker. And it felt great. That is a power move. I was in a goddamn dress, and I left. I didn't buy a goddamn chicken sandwich, nothing. And I even told them, I announced, like, I was like, well, I didn't, like, you know what I mean? I was like loud. I was like, oh, I just peed in the fucking women's bathroom. I'm trans as fuck. I didn't give a fuck. And I left that place. And it was great. And I didn't even realize what a power move it was until later. But I was with my trans friends. I was just bitching. I was like, yeah, I just peed in Chick-fil-A bathroom. What up, fam? And it felt great. Which, you know, I don't know. I don't remember where I was going with that. But I do remember that I fucking think Chick-fil-A is overrated as hell. And y'all can fucking crucify me. Fucking KFC is better. Popeyes is better. Church's is so much better. I love Church's. And you know what? It's overpriced.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? Just as a power move myself.
Yeah.
They care a lot about who I sleep with and what gender I am.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I think this is the main theme about, like, the tail end, about this part of the video, is the fact that you guys are caring just a little bit too much about what we do.
Yeah.
And, you know, calm down, guys. Like, that's the whole thing. Please calm down, alright?
Yeah, I'm probably
too much stress.
I'm probably getting, like, hate comments about Chick-fil-A.
Oh, probably.
Probably more than the antagonizing them at the beginning of the video. Like, hey, you're fucking dumb for thinking that children take puberty blockers. What are you, stupid?
I'm gonna say is I'm not.
Yeah.
If I'm probably gonna go to a Chick-fil-A. And I'm probably gonna like one of their stuff because I don't care what their political opinions are. I'll still eat there if it's good food because I don't care, as they shouldn't care about me.
The only problem for me is their money goes to like hate groups that actually like get us killed.
Okay, that's true too. Okay, yeah. I didn't know. You know more about the politics than I do.
Yeah.
But still, though, that relative of not caring, that energy of not caring is probably what should be spread about.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm gonna drop this here because I am a fucking member of the Satanic Temple. And my favorite thing about the Satanic Temple, and I probably shouldn't be mentioning this with my sweet Nina on in front of me, but I don't give a fuck right now. Do you give a fuck?
No, I don't care.
Okay, good. I am pulling this ultimate power move. My name is Luciana Aerophili Williams. I'm a member of the Satanic Temple, and I'm here to fucking drop a fucking truth bomb. So let's go. So the great thing about the Satanic Temple is when I joined, I thought, oh, these are just going to be a bunch of goth nerds, you know, doing activism and shit. Ugh. But then I joined, and I realized these people don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck that I'm trans. They've never misgendered me once. They are chill as fuck. And you know what? Every other fucking woke person makes a huge deal about it. You know, they treat me like a goddamn hero. I'm not a goddamn hero. I was just talking about, like, I was just, like, bitching about you know, fucking, what was the guy fucking, like, humiliating us? I was calling him Winnie the Pooh and saying he watched his, like, wife get fucked by, like, 10 dudes and, he masturbated in a corner and cried. And here's the thing, though. I say shit like that all the time, so I'm not a hero. I just do shit that I believe in, activism and stuff, but woke circles honestly want to, like, raise me up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they want to, like, treat me like I'm something I'm not. And the Satanic Temple, they don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, this is just a girl with a dick, and they're fine with it. I'm never misgendered. I'm never raised to some impossible standard. I'm just a person who does work with the Satanic Temple. And I like that. I like that about them. And my frustration with all these fucking churches and Christian churches is they make such a big deal about everything. Every fucking thing is a deal. Even the fucking liberal churches, they have to be proved. They have something to prove that they're so accepting and they're this and they're that and they're this. And, you know, even like the atheists who are like liberal and not trans, they have something to prove. You know what I mean? I just don't know why you care so much. I mean, fuck. I go to my church and they're just like, they don't give a fuck. They never even fucking mention it to me until I bring it up and I bitch about cis people. They're like, whatever. You know what I mean? And they dig it. I love that they listen to me rant. But that's the thing, that nobody should give a shit. And I think that's part of my frustration, is even among my own fucking social circle, too many people fucking care what I'm doing. And I don't give a shit. I just want to live, mind my own fucking business. These goddamn kids you keep pestering, you're trying to pass laws so they can't wear fucking dresses and grow their hair out. They just want to mind their own business. Kids don't like you. Yeah, and you're fucking lying if you think kids just, like, really, really want to talk to adults. I mean, they don't. They hate you.
Especially the edgy ones.
Especially the edgy ones like me. And, like your kid is just trying to live their fucking life. I mean, that kid, that trans kid, that weird trans kid, you know, you see in the fucking library, don't fucking bother them, you weird Christian fucks. I mean, it drives me crazy. You're like, I don't even know what the fuck their parents are doing. I'm sure some of them are cool with it, but the fucking government's trying to tell doctors what they can and can't do. For fuck's sake, the doctors can even tell you this. If your kid is prepubescent, right? If your kid has no fucking logical reason to start puberty blockers, they won't start them on it. They won't fucking start them on it. And you can check this with anybody. It is totally fact-checkable. It is, I don't even know if that's a fucking word, fact-checkable, but it fucking is. You can fucking verify that shit, but the problem is you fuckers never fucking do it. You know what I mean? They never fucking do it. They always are like, oh, they're trying to lecture me on fucking medicine, and you never fucking fact-check your fucking facts. Like, I'm sick of being lectured on the fucking medication I take. I'm trans. I know what I'm fucking taking. For fuck's sake, cis people, stop it! Stop it! You don't know what you're talking about. You have no fucking reason to know what you're talking about. Please! That's a rant that's going to get me fucking banned, but I don't give a fuck. And here's one more fucking thing. If you're going to come at me, if you're going to come at her, do your fucking research, please. And if you're listening, thank you. Have a great day. Thank you for listening and educating yourself. Stay woke. You know, that kid, you know, that the government just really, really wants to get in the way of, they're just trying to fucking chill. I mean, when I was a kid and I was doing weird shit, you know, with my fucking Powerpuff Girl dolls and my weird-ass, giant, oversized Hamtaro plushes, I was just trying to mind my business. You know what my fucking dad did? He would fucking pull my fucking dolls away and be an asshole and say, oh, don't play with dolls. We don't like that. You know, like, they did a lot more than that. But, I mean, the point is that your kid doesn't give a fuck about you. Your kid does not give a fuck about, you know what I mean? Like, your kid just wants to mind their business, and you're fucking ruining it for them. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I just don't know why people are so intrusive into their goddamn kids' lives. Leave them alone. Here. It's hard enough.
Kids will care about you if you would care about what they care about.
Yeah.
That's a good thing right there.
Yeah.
Don't let the kids...
Yeah.
Like... Don't make it so that way, like, they can't care about anything or suppress what they care about.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're growing people.
But, like, I'm just telling you, like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone acts like their kids, like, are just trying to, like, lash out at them by wearing a dress. No, I just wanted to fucking chill in my bedroom and read a goddamn book. I feel like... I feel like, I don't know, I don't know if there's, like, some fucking egomania with parents who honestly think that their kids are just doing all this to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to upset them.
To upset them. No, your kid doesn't give a fuck. Your kid is just trying to fucking chill, chances are. I mean, like...
Yeah, and maybe you should look into the fact that, but then why are they being like this? Like, can I help them instead? Like, not help them like, let's reteach them to wear male clothing if they're wearing dresses.
Please don't send your fucking kid to conversion therapy, you sick fucking bastards. You know the fucking, the attempted suicide rate of kids who are put through conversion therapy?
Oh, yeah.
It's 60%. You fuckers who put your... Hey, wait, I'm gonna go on a rant here, because I know most of these fuckers probably don't do it. But if any of you even fucking considering it, A, you should be in fucking prison. But B, 60% of LGBTQ plus kids who are put through conversion therapy attempt suicide. So, you can either be like this. A, fine, my kid's trans, I'm going to try to get them the help they need. Or B, you can be like, well, I'm fine with my kid trying to fucking kill themselves. Or, at best case scenario, hate themselves for the rest of their lives. So, you know, congrats. Those are your two options. Which one's better?
And this is my scientific, 2 cents on that one.
Yeah.
Conversion therapy is... Wow.
It's pseudoscience!
It is amazing.
It is pseudoscience.
I'm just going to refute it immediately with actual science.
Yeah.
As I said before,
yes.
Being transgender is a science. It's biological. You can't therapy someone into being
what they are.
Well, yeah, well, what they aren't. I'm sorry, but because their brain is that gender, and so you can't therapy someone into that.
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want. I'm sorry, if you have 5 fingers, you're gonna have 5 fingers. If you cut off 2 fingers and you have 3 fingers, you still have 2 nubs, so you still have 5 fingers. And conversion therapy is basically trying to convince you, you have 4 fingers. Whatever. It's 4 fingers. No, you still got 5.
Yeah.
And of course they're trying to commit suicide because
you're
going up against biology.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
If your argument is you're a male because you have a, penis, you're a female because your brain is a female.
Yeah.
And that's probably a little bit more so because are you your body or are you your brain? No. You're your brain.
Yeah.
You're your brain because all of this...
This is insignificant.
It's a glove.
Yeah, I mean, for fuck's sake, I mean...
You can take my brain, put it in a different body or a computer. I would be that computer or that body, not this.
This body is just... It's just... It's just a fucking... Basically suit for the brain to wear. I mean, that's not a scientific way to put it. But
no, it's very accurate.
It receives all of these signals from your brain. You are the brain. You're not the body. It's kind of stupid to argue, well, oh, it's all in your head. Because, yeah, what's in my head is who I am. You can like, say, oh, well, you're, you don't really, you know what I mean? Like, it's like saying, oh, you're not really, what was I going to say? You're not really, your body isn't obsessed with Bloodborne. Your brain is. Yeah, of course my body's not obsessed with Bloodborne because my body doesn't fucking... It's not a real thing.
Your body doesn't think.
Your body doesn't think.
Your brain does.
Exactly. It's stupid. It's stupid to say, oh, you're not your brain, because you are your brain. That is all you are, and that's all you ever will be. And it's fucking stupid that our body is held to such a high... You know what I mean? Because you can... Hell, put me in a fucking cyborg, I'll be hyped as fuck, by the way.
And just to show like how the brain like affects your body, and the fact that your body is secondary to your brain.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to go that far. Let's look at migraines. Sometimes people with migraines have their eyes completely shut down and they go blind because of a headache. Yeah. Of a really bad migraine. Does that mean that your eyes were taken out?
No.
No. Your eyes are just fine. It's because the reason why typically you go blind during such a migraine is because your brain is affecting your sight. Because your body is just receiving information for your brain to interpret. And if the brain says, this is too much for me to handle, well, your eyes shut down. But they will come back in its time whenever it says, I can do this now. But... yeah, that's essentially it. You are the brain, your body is second. If your eyeballs are anything...
Yeah, it's kind of amazing how your brain can actually trick you into... for fuck's sake, I'm on my period right now, and I don't have fucking ovaries.
Right, yeah.
My brain, because of the chemicals that I'm on, like, it made me have a phantom period.
And actually, that's the thing, that's another thing to note. Phantom periods is... Now, this is completely theoretical. Phantom periods is a phenomena that is not explainable whatsoever. Even periods for a cis woman is actually also another one, which is a little bit peculiar. Like, it's a little odd. No one can really explain that. So then, how come a transitioning woman with the hormones and everything actually still goes through a period? And that's probably because it's rooted. Theory here, probably because it's rooted in the brain that this signal should be broadcasted at this time for a transitioning woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because the process of the period is actually there, which the male brain probably doesn't have. Now I'm gonna say probably because there's no actual proof whether there is or isn't. And I'm not gonna say anything that isn't factual. And if I'm going to say anything that I think it's gonna be emphasized theoretically, so grain of salt there.
I know is that's what I'm fucking feeling,
yeah.
And if I'm fucking feeling it and my body's feeling it, then that's probably real. You know what I mean? I can't explain the fucking science of it, but that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And what I mean?
There is no science of it right now because we haven't looked into the transgender brain, which we should have.
Yeah, well, but they don't want to. You know what I mean? Like the government doesn't want to because they don't want to. They kind of want to erase us, honestly.
And the reason why there isn't a lot of science on transgender people
is because of the
politics. It's politics,
the conservatives don't like us,
And it's the only reason why I told that story 15 minutes ago about the kid was because it was a coincidence.
Yeah.
And whenever someone has to find transgender information via coincidences, that's a little bit of a problem. There should be more. There should be more information than there are right now at this day of age, and there just isn't.
That's the thing. I'm really fucking sick of hearing people talk about they understand trans people. You don't. You don't understand it. Trans people understand ourselves the best we fucking can. We know the science, more science than you do about it, and
just to say.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the trans experience.
Yeah.
And here's a thing that I noticed. Even though we know the best like we experienced it and everything, most of us still don't know
everything.
Like the science of the transitioning is actually still very much unknown. So a lot of us still don't. I mean, we know best, but we still don't know
everything.
And we still know the important bits.
But here's the thing: we do know what puberty blockers do, and we do know when they are prescribed.
Yes, absolutely, and they are completely reversible.
Get absolutely fucked. And that's the thing is that what's really frustrating me about the puberty blocker thing. Getting back to that. Is everyone could know that if they just did research. And I've actually sent people links that when they ask and they don't look at them. And so I'm thinking you guys just don't want to know, which is kind of dumb because then you lecture me about it online. You're like, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you people invalidate, like, me. Like, why the fuck do people want to lecture me and not believe me? I mean, for fuck's sake, like, everyone wants to, like, act like they know the trans, like, experience, but they don't listen to the goddamn trans experience. So how the fuck do they know the trans experience? You know what I mean? Like, if you're so fucking well versed on trans people, why the fuck don't you listen to trans people? I mean, that's what it really aggravates me is every cis person like who's like seen a fucking Fox News report suddenly thinks they're goddamn geniuses about my whole fucking life. You don't know shit about my life, bitch.
Always forget the things that you know, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Me being super unscientific, get fucking wrecked. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. She's a smart one. I'm the mean one. And and I really fucking hate Chick-fil-A. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, even though I said that my low-key, like, don't care attitude, like, I would probably dine there. I mean, now that I know about the money thing, okay, maybe I should think twice about that.
Yeah,
maybe, but,
I bet they're all white, too, I've seen there, so, I mean, they probably hate Hispanic people. But, that's a whole different day of a topic, though.
Oh, I'm Hispanic. No one will probably know that.
You are Hispanic. You're a Hispanic trans woman who's smarter than every single fucking person in the government. And they want to deport you. Yeah, you're the problem. You're the problem, not the fucking inbred idiot eating McDonald's in the White House.
Oh. And also,
I'm a huge genius. I like hamburgers.
The small loan of $1 million.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one.
Oh God.
And also, can we
windmills?
Okay. Also.
Yeah.
This is really political.
Yeah.
Did we all forget that he's actually first generation German?
Yeah, it did.
First generation. I mean, he's an American citizen, but his father was actually from Germany. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like he's an immigrant.
He's more immigrant than Obama.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, for everyone that said that, no, he's the most American president ever.
But here's the thing: the Trump supporters, they don't care that he's an immigrant. They just care that he's a white immigrant.
Oh,
that's the thing. Is like he's not one of the bad immigrants. He's not the ones from the shithole countries, as they call it.
But
God, he's fucking racist, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. That's a whole nother topic.
Oh, that's absolutely
that is a whole nother topic. But
that's political. But super political.
But I also think it's fucking dumb because it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm being lectured by a bunch of racists and idiots, like inbred idiots who believe there's an invisible man in the sky, and somehow they want to call me delusional.
Don't worry. If I ever encounter that kind of conversation, which is very rare, if I ever do, as a scientist, I will in fact talk to them in science.
But like, why the fuck am I delusional? I mean, for fuck's sake, they believe, and they believe a guy God impregnated a woman with himself, who then sacrificed himself to save humanity from, like, the sin that he gave them for defying him, even though he's, like, all-knowing and shit. It's dumb! It is dumb! I am not going to sugarcoat it. It's not smart.
Okay. There's a lot of...
I'm delusional!
Because of how it's written, it's super weird. and so it's very. I mean, it's not written. I mean, I'm gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna say it.
You're trying
it's
to
not
be nice.
written exactly well. Yeah, I'm being nice. It's not written exactly well. It's interpretive. But because of the fact that you have to interpret it, it's a bit of a problem because you have to interpret it.
And you also, these people have the fucking audacity to call me delusional. For fuck's sake, they drink fake blood and eat fake flesh and, like, wear a fucking torture device around their necks. I am good. I am good on the sanity front. I'm fine, fam.
I actually love the idea that they all have, like, it's not just torture, it's an execution device that they have on around their...
Here's the thing, sweetheart.
I'll have the guillotine on my arm.
I'm not crazy. I'm just high energy and heavily charismatic.
You're right, yeah.
I will fucking dunk these nuts on a fucking Catholic who crosses me. I don't give a fuck. I will fucking Michael Jordan down on their goddamn face.
Oh, God.
With these nuts on their damn chin. I don't care if it's ladylike. I'm doing it. Get fucked.
To be honest, guys, I'm such a nerd. I actually did calculate that. Like
yeah, she calculated the distance of my nuts from her chin.
Yeah, I did.
It's great.
That's why you should trust me because I love science to the point where I calculate stupid things.
Yes, she calculated. She calculated the distance and the speed
kinematics and the Newtonian forces. I did it all just because I wanted to see what it would look like, and it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. I saw it. I could see it in my mind. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and it will happen one day, and I will be very happy about it.
Oh no!
What do you think? Were we done?
We were probably done 5 minutes ago.
We were probably done 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, and we just went on a rant like after the political one. We just
So here's the thing. I don't think we have anything more to say, but I will say that if you want to fucking cross me on fucking puberty blockers, I will correct. No, I'm not. I don't want to waste my time with that.
Nah.
We've already fucking done it in this video. But if you want to cross
the whole don't care message, is that we see it as like. Okay, well, that's entertaining.
Because if you didn't watch the fucking video and you don't fucking care to listen to me, I don't give a fuck. I'm not sending you shit. Why don't you fucking do your research, bitch? And also, if one more fucking person talks to me about sports, I will dunk these nuts on your chin. And I will do it. Don't talk to me about trans people in sports. I never like sports. Hey, here. Radical hot take. This is my last fucking hot take for the day. Don't ban trans athletes. Ban athletes. Ban all athletes. Ban sports. Do it. Destroy sports forever. Lucy Anna out. Get fucked.
God.